Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Chill Time. This week with us, we have Metal. It's been a while since Metal's
Oh, hey,
been on
hey.
here.
You know what?
Uh,
I noticed. I actually do have my OBS webcam on. I don't want to show myself. I know I'm on screen right now. Go away, me. This one. There we go.
okay. Yeah, so how have you been doing, Metal?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Trying to work on things. Trying to
Yeah,
keep busy. I
yeah.
I started sketching a page of X Dynamis Chaos today, and then I lost focus and ran around and did other things.
yeah, I know that feeling. Wow, this is weird. It's been a long time since I've had 2 weeks in a row somebody talking with about their
Mm-hmm.
projects. And of course, yours isn't quite a crowdfunder like Chris and Diana's last week. You
No,
just
no, it's not.
you're just working on something with an artist. You're not going to be crowdfunding this at all, right? Or do you know?
No, no, there's no plan for that. This is just going to be something that when it's done, we're going to sell it. Probably digital first,
Yeah,
unless there's an interest. Like if people say, "Hey, I don't really care about a digital comic at all. I want a physical." If there's enough people like that, I might do a short run, enough just to justify a print on demand at Indie Planet afterwards. But aside from that, we're looking digital first until it reaches like volume size. Once it's volume size, I was already planning to do a print run.
yeah. And then of course you have your Patreon for people to get early access to stuff and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
I should
which I'll
I
explain in more detail when we get into it.
yeah. I'm trying to do some light conversation till maybe a few people are in here. You know what it's
Oh,
like in my
absolutely.
chat. Sometimes you get people right away. Sometimes nobody
No,
shows
I
up.
wasn't. I figured we wouldn't be
Yeah,
actually talking about it until at least somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes into the show.
yeah. Uh, and see me just saying we're talking about it like that is again me
Yeah.
just trying to think. Oh, time. So, well. Besides this project, what have you been up to? What else?
Well, the whole last year or so has just been kind of crazy. So I'm behind on literally everything. Uh, I did get an actual page of X Dynamis Chaos up. I think was it last week or the week before that? Might have been the weekend. Somewhere between a week or two ago, I actually did get a page up. It's literally the second post on the website if you scroll down. So like I'm trying to get back into things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to finish that chapter because it's got like a page left.
Oh,
Maybe two if you count the like single page gag comic that I put in every single chapter afterwards. Um, so I need to finish that one so I can move on to other things that I need to finish. Like I need to go and finish those two 4-page shorts that I owe like you and the other person forever at this point. That
yeah. What's that?
everybody's
About
been very
5 years now?
gracious. Yeah, has it been? Maybe. Yeah, I
I
thought it
don't know.
was
I'm not sure. I'm not
somewhere
completely.
4 or 5 years. The thing
Obviously, I'm
is,
not.
like, it was only supposed to be delayed by a single summer because I was going to enter that Tezuka manga contest, and a bunch of people wanted me to enter it. And it's like, okay, we'll just do this after the summer. But then after I finished Realms and Relics, God, life just hit me in the face.
Yeah, well, I definitely know that feeling. Like 2 years ago, I was supposed to bring out, 3 comics, and they all got delayed. In
Yeah.
2023, I was trying to plan on bringing out Canadian Shield 3, Snowdrift 2, Flame Number 1, and here it is 2025, and none of them have come out. Although Canadian Shield might get out this year.
Yeah. Well, at
Me, me,
least everybody got their prizes though. I
Yeah.
don't really count the two comics as prizes,
Yeah.
because they're also content. So I'm getting just as much out of it as the people who got to help write it. But you
Yeah.
guys all got your like drawings, your illustrations and stuff. So
Yeah.
I made sure that was done first.
Yeah. I might even be able to get Snowdrift out this year, depending on how fast my Canadian Shield 1 artist gets things done.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Because, well, the artist, the penciler on Snowdrift 2 is John, and we know John's decently fast enough as long as I can get him the money.
John is wickedly fast as long as you can get him the money.
So, yeah.
Speaking of like, did you see the pre-orders for Mighty Golden Patriot are up this week? It's
Oh,
on
no,
the 25th.
no, I didn't. I'm going to have to be checking that out.
Yeah, I know.
Keep an eye on that. That's, I think that's one that I'll get. As much as I don't want to put out that sort of money, I think it's one that I'll get.
Yeah, I probably will too.
Just because John's involved in the project.
I think actually it'll depend on how they decide to do it, right? Like if it's only going to be like a singular run, old school style, then I'll have to get it. If it's something where they'll always just keep a certain amount of stock in the warehouse, then I might wait a little before getting it, and I'll just read Marsupial's copy when it comes in because I know he's getting it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I can't quite do that.
Yeah.
But I know John's in on it, so I think it'll be better than Isom one.
Oh, for sure.
Although I know they are using Ripperverse to print and all that, so
Well, yeah. So, but it's a completely separate subsidiary, right?
yeah,
It's Ripascend, so it's not actually part of the Rippaverse or anything.
yeah. It's Yellow Flash's verse, whatever his imprint's going to be called.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like back when Vertigo was separate from DC and people would just have their own comics there, which I guess technically the current version of Vertigo is like that too, where they're all disconnected comics. It's just all the old Vertigo comics have been pulled into the DC universe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely something interesting. Is it up yet? Is there any sort of page to know what's going on with it, or?
Oh, for Mighty Golden Patriot? I don't know
Yeah.
if they have a page, but the Ripascend and Rippaverse Twitters have been posting about it. That's how I saw the date.
Oh, okay. I should get on. I should actually do Ripperverse.
Yeah, Ripascend is the name of the. Actually, I don't even think it's like a full imprint. It's just like literally a fulfillment service. But yeah,
Let's see whether I can find it.
apparently they're the ones doing all the lettering and stuff too. That's why it was taking so long.
Let's- Okay, I follow that. Uh, I like that cover. Launch date 4:25, 8 a.m. CT Central Time. So that's 9 for me.
Yeah, because they're in the DFW area in Texas, so time I was used to. I'm actually kind of upset because Yellow Flash is going to Dallas to sign the copies, and you'll like do a meetup and stuff there. It's like, dang it, I'm not in Dallas anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Bookmark this. Uh, choose another folder. Comic book companies. It's not exactly a comic book company, but
I mean, I would consider them a comic book company. That's what they do.
okay, so that is done. Okay, so
It is kind of like what he's trying to do. He's like trying to be a full alternate outlet away from the mainstream. So
yeah. Well, Ripperson, like you said, it's not the Ripperverse. That's the comic company.
yeah, this is their
Ripper
fulfillment wing.
fulfillment, publishing. Not sure what the publishing, printing.
Yeah, printing and fulfillment.
Yeah,
Which is, the way they're doing. I think they are slapping the Ripison logo on things that they're doing. So it is like a run. They are kind of a publisher. They're just a like a creator owned
it's sort of like
publisher for
sort of like
so
Alterna.
yeah, yeah.
Well, we're 10 minutes in. Nobody's here but you and me. You want to get into this, or do you want to try and waste another 8 minutes?
I don't know. I'm fine with whatever. Listen. I know that we're probably going to be on here longer than we're going to talk about this anyway, and I've got nothing else to do, so I'm fine being on here for the remainder of the show, unlike some of the other people that is like, I got to be out after an hour.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I know you're good for either way. We'll probably talk about it off and on for sure. Try and go.
Here, let me drop this in the most important chat is, the Cult of Raven chat. I at least got to get those buddies in here.
Yeah,
I did share this out places, as I'm sure you saw at least the Twitter post.
yeah. I saw the Twitter post. You Marsupial liked it. You liked it with two of your accounts.
I had to retweet it with both of them because they have slightly different audiences, despite the fact that, like, if I put something on my own, I'm sure everybody who sees both of those accounts separately probably see it anyway. Because I have more followers than either of those accounts do, and I probably eclipse both of the followers of those accounts.
The only thing that I'm not sure whether I want to make sure everybody's hearing you, but you should be
Yeah, I have
coming
no
through the
idea.
you should be coming through the browser. Hopefully, that people have been able to hear you up until this point. Because when you talk, it comes through the browser. The browser wants some.
Okay, well, I unmuted the tab for a second, so I did hear myself.
Okay, and we have Joshua in the chat. Hey, Joshua.
Hey, Joshua, hail Raven.
So, how did you? Wow, how did you like my newest AI one video?
Oh, you asking me or Joshua, who was in the video?
Both. Although
That
Joshua
was
said more.
quirky.
Yeah, it's just something I experimented with. Obviously the real life portion, you know, and then of course the avatars. I didn't have yours handy, so that's why I don't think I used yours. It was creepy. The whole thing, the part with you, or the part with me and my mom. Especially the one video with me and my mom. That was just really creepy.
Well, I think the weirder implied thing that Joshua kind of joked out to in our chat was that you said with like IRL people or whatever. It was like, oh, are we saying that Flit is actually a goblin in real life? Wait, are we doxing Flit now? He's an actual real life goblin.
Well, I said in real life, and I think I said, and my some of my subscribers' avatars. So Flit would fall. That would Flits would fall under my subscriber avatar.
I don't know. You better watch your back. Flit might be after you.
He's seen. Well, I did those live, a lot of
Yeah.
the Avatar ones, so or sort of live. I did it and then I showed it right away, almost right away. So, but unless a lot of people that don't watch my live videos, will never see it. So, and it's some nice content that quick, easy content that I think it's getting me a few subscribers, is getting me views for sure. But as I was saying, so I guess we should at least touch a little bit base about the latest project that you do have going on. What is it? Although I think, although I think your picture there be
it is on screen. Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
guess
called the Dreamscape Dilemma, which I think is a fantastic name. You know me, I'm very into like, I guess weird, but also just particular names. Like I spend a lot of time thinking about what I want to name something
Yeah.
when I'm making it.
for sure.
And yeah, I think the alliteration of Dreamscape Dilemma just kind of like stands out in your head.
Yeah.
The problem is, it might be a little too complicated of like title for the age group that it's intended for, because it's intended for like 10 up in general, right? Like kind of entering middle school age, and like I don't know, the word dilemma. I know 10-year-olds that know that, but as a title, is that going to be memorable for them? But this is just normal me, I named
Yeah.
my main thing X Dynamis Chaos. Who remembers that?
Yeah. I didn't at first. Now I think I do. And hello,
Yeah.
Alpha. How are you? Oh, Alpha, did you get my message on Discord from the other day? And he says, the medal? Yes, this is the medal. He says, I love what you're doing with the Iron Age media. Good stuff.
I'm doing stuff with Iron Age Media. This is news to me. Unless you're just counting my stuff as it. Listen, you could throw whatever label you want. I don't tend to label my stuff other than it being my stuff. And I'm friendly with most of the people who do label their stuff Iron Age, so I'll just take it as a compliment.
Okay, what is the Dreamscape Dilemma exactly? For those out there that don't know. Which is
So
probably
the
most of the
Dreamscape
audience.
Dilemma, the basic kind of pitch for it, the story as a whole, not this chapter, is that a group of kids from around the world suddenly fall into these deep comas that drag their consciousness down into the dreamscape, and they have to kind of navigate this strange world where dreams come from and figure out the mystery behind why they fell down there. That's kind of like the basic gist of the plot. It's I would throw it in the same subgenre that you would throw stories like Digimon and Persona into,
Okay.
where it's kind of like a character-driven story where each character kind of represents an archetype and has a companion that more or less does the actual conflict resolution for them.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it's maybe Digimon combined with what is it? Nemo? Little Nemo?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. Actually, that's something I've told people. I don't like the this meets this type pitch, but a lot of people do. So that pitch for this one is Digimon meets Little Nemo in Slumberland.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I remember playing that game, Little Nemo, as a back when the
Oh,
NES
I
came
used to
out.
play the NES one. Yeah, I used
Yeah,
to play that one all the time.
I'm not sure whether I ever beat it or not. I forget. It's
It's a
so long
very
ago.
convoluted game, right? Because every single level you need to find the keys to get to the door for the next level, but some of them require you to get the keys in a certain order, and it's like even knowing where the keys are in the first place gets very convoluted.
Yeah, it somehow I don't think I ended up beating that game, even though I had Game Genie for the NES.
I also had the Game Genie. I don't think I've beaten that one either. I kind of want to go back and beat it. I did a like a 10-minute play of it back in 2012 maybe that you
Uh-huh.
can find on my gaming channel, and I pretty much just played it until I died. That was it. Like this is just me remembering this game I used to play a lot. I'm just gonna play it till I die.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't even know it was originally a comic at the time that I was doing that playthrough. Which
Yeah.
remembering Nemo and I remembered seeing an animated film for it made me dive into it. And since then, I had read every single page that Winsor McKay had published. I'm like, man, I wish I knew about this comic when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, who are the characters in this? Can you go into much of them or a
So I
plot line
can't
with
tell
them?
you all of the characters, but because part of the trajectory that we're going with the story is basically the first volume is going to introduce you each of the kids one by one.
Okay.
Right. Which it would basically be two groups that will start off in different parts of the dreamscape, and the two groups will get bigger, picking up a kid as they're trying to meet up in a place called Dream Central Station, named after Grand Central Station, which is you could see in the logo. There's like a train there because I like trains. So how you get across the dreamscape is through a train. Some of these basic things I can tell you because they will show up in the first one. The conductor of the train is the Greek god Morpheus, sometimes just called Morpheus in the modern like English. So he will, whenever they hop on the train, he'll basically check their ticket and they take stops everywhere. And the kids are always wondering like, why are we stopping? And it's because they have to pick up another kid. Uh, so everybody after the first two kids have the benefit of having somebody else help them through their nightmares, though. So the first two kind of have it the worst. And the first one that we meet is this kid right here on the cover, Kenji Tanaka, who is from Japan, and he is just in it on his own. There's no help from anyone else.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of a question I can ask. Can you go into any of the nightmare what he might face without getting,
Yeah, yeah.
you
Well, so I
know,
even have some of the nightmare that he has to deal with in his personal one is like right there in the cover. Which, if you want to bring up, like the full cover image is more than what I have cropped off for my webcam. But Kenji is the archetype of the everyman, right? Of like the like 12 archetypes. So
Okay. Who's audio? Okay. Hey, no audio. Okay. Uh, camera. Oh, I know why. There, talk now.
Yeah.
Okay, I took the eye off the browser which you were in because I was trying to
Oh,
show the comic or your page.
okay. So apparently I cut off when I was talking about Kenji's archetype. Uh, Thank you, Phasma. Actually, the Phasma Gore in the chat there is the artist for this. This is all. Well, I would say all. It is like maybe 90% her art. Um, she does all the penciling and the illustration for this. Occasionally, I have to do something with the thumbnailing, like we did with the cover. But aside from that, I only really come back into the art if there needs to be maybe a minor edit. That it's like after I cleared everything from Phasma, it's like, oh, that line needs to be taken off, or there's like one where there was like a stray line I needed to erase, and then I do all of the colors, tones, and lettering afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I told you backstage, you can't be here because scheduled for work. Uh,
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would be to talk about this as well.
Yeah. Well, she's obviously, as I said to you backstage, you're welcome here anytime to come on and talk. And if you want to bring her on to talk about, you're both more than welcome.
I might just drag her on one night anyway if we're not even talking about the Dreamscape dilemma.
Yeah.
Because Phasma has got her own webcomics that she needs to pimp. I've pimped them around a few times too.
Yeah.
One's called Corvid Kid, and what's the other one? Battle Ball, I think is the name of it.
Yeah. This art definitely looks good. It looks, and I know that's what you're going for. It does look real manga style. From the little
Yeah,
bit that
there's
I've
like a
seen.
little mix between like manga and Western cartoon. Is one of the reasons I approached Phasma for this one because we're pretty good friends, I would think at this point, and I wanted to get this story rolling. And immediately when I thought of like an artist who could capture the style I wanted, she was like the first one on a list of maybe 3 or 4.
Well, uh, Plasma. If you want to come on,
Yes, it
feel
was
free.
Battle Ball.
Um, hey, Mallet. Yeah, I was on Mallet's stream just before this. Let me get a link for. I think there should be a link in the description.
Well, I can get her an invite link to this. I've got mod ability. I can get invite links for this anytime I want.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then it's in the on-air chat.
There. No, I just DM'd her an invite directly to the on air if she wants to get in.
Yeah, she said, "Let me get set up real quick." Yeah, no problem. No problem. So yeah, this is looking real good. I'm trying to think of, you know me. Sometimes I have a hard time thinking of quick.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Yes. Let me mute the stream. Okay, perfect. Now I can hear you. I should have done that before I clicked the link. I didn't think it would take me right in.
Okay, just give me a sec. I'm trying to. Well, doesn't matter. Nobody. Well, everybody's just gonna see Metal's thing, which is, I guess, good. Well, what I'm
It just
showing.
needs to stay on the screen so that we can be heard. That's it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, because I was doodling and I just hear the audio
Hey,
go. I'm like, oh no.
Okay, thanks for stopping by, Mallet. You have one job.
I've been lurking in his streams, just because it's nice to have his little. I think he's still playing City Skylines or whatever current.
Right now it's
sim game
Transport
that he's
Fever
playing.
2.
Transport Fever. Okay, yeah, he's always doing some type of like sim logistics game, and it is just like a calming thing to have on in the background while I'm working on stuff.
Yeah. Mallet is somebody who used to come by here quite often, and well, even I think Metals a few times. I'm not sure. The Vomitorium, was he ever in the Vomitorium chat?
I don't think so. Maybe if he did, I don't remember. It had to have been so long ago. I think time-wise, it just normally doesn't work out for him.
Yeah, Mallet says I'm a nerd. Just remember to hit the like and the share, Mallet. So,
But yeah.
well,
I think I need to rewind because I got cut off when I was explaining Kenji as a character.
okay, yeah, okay. You can explain that.
Yeah. So I was saying Kenji's archetype. Every single one of the kids that we will meet represents like one of like the common 12 archetypes that like Jung put down. In fact, there's a lot of Jungian.
Okay. So what are these
psychology.
12 archetypes before you go on with that?
Oh god, do I have to list the 12 Jungian archetypes?
Wait, isn't Hero one of them? Hero's
The
one of
hero
them.
is one of them. Yes. That's actually going to be the second kid we meet if we make it to chapter 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me pull up the list so I don't forget them all. 'Cause probably anytime you try to list something long, which 12 is the one that gets me. I always stumble over it when I'm listing the Zodiac as well because I'm like, okay, I made it to 10. Which two am I missing now? Which did I not already name?
Yeah, because you start to forget which ones have I named, which ones have I haven't named.
Yeah, because then
Yeah.
it's like more than you have fingers. At least that's what gets me. It's like if it's more than I have fingers, it's like oh boy.
Yeah, and I also have to make sure I get the right list because like God, everybody changes the list too. They'll be like, here's one that we added because we subtracted something else. I was like,
So I'm pretty sure this was Metal's idea.
yes, this is my idea.
So what
Yes.
drew you to want to do this Project Phasma? With him.
Well, because like I said,
Me.
we're very close. Yes. It's also the fact that hey, getting more works out there is great, and if I am just essentially I'm just receiving the instructions, I am like the vision into the world. That to me is like great because that's a part of the burden lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah. Okay, so I
Yeah,
guess
and it's also just like a new experience too because
Yes.
it is different when you work on somebody else's vision than when you're just
Yeah.
inside your own head.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like with the previous works you mentioned, I am actually like what I was doing before this was actually I am currently stumped on the first chapter of Battle Ball. I have been throwing myself at it to no avail, but I'm trying to. I'm just really struggling with it at the moment.
So how did you two meet then? To
Newgrounds Festival.
okay.
That's how we met.
Sometime
We're
in
Newgrounds
2021.
buddies. Yeah, it was in 2021.
I think that was in. I listened to part of. There was
Yeah, you were
something that was put on. I forget what. The summer festival or something like that.
Yeah, it was
Or-
the Newgrounds Summer
Yes.
Festival was the whole shebang. We've got like a group chat with some of our friends that we met there. We just talk all the time and sometimes just hang out playing video games and things like that.
Cool. And I guess you're still searching for that list. Or have you found it, Metal?
You know, every time I think I find it, like they'll be, oh, here's some examples, but they don't have all 12,
Okay.
and it's making me mad. I think I might actually wait. Let me check my docs. I think I made a list with all the characters that might be able to solve this for me.
Okay.
Because I am very anal. I have a lot of just like notes and documents places. I just have to find where I put them.
And if anybody in the chat has a question for either one, feel free to place it. Although we just got Joshua and Mallet in the chat.
Just Flit's here too.
Oh,
And
Flitz.
Alpha was. I don't know if Alpha's still here.
Oh yeah, Flitz here. Yeah. I was just seeing.
Uh,
Yeah, Alpha's made like one comment.
At least on the list I have, there's only 3.
I don't
Listed
know if I gave you
archetypes.
the full list, so let me
Probably not.
check.
It's a limited one.
I think the only list you have. Oh, so before we were gonna do this, I was gonna make like a gotcha game out of this stuff too. That's probably the one you have is the
Yes.
the characters I started designing, which already has like the hero, the innocence there. I don't. Let me see if I could just think of the other ones. So we have the everyman, the hero, the innocent, the magician, the trickster, the lover is usually in there too. That's half of them. What's the other half?
A lot of those sound like the major arcana. Do you want me to go through send you a list of the
The
major
arcana
arcana
are the
cards?
12
See if that rings a
archetypes.
bell?
Yes, if you have the list, that would be the identical.
I
There's like the emperor.
play
The
a lot of
emperor I know is one
Persona.
of them too. Well, the emperor's the ruler. They're identical. They're just a different name. The ruler is typically what they call it.
Here we go. I'll send you the Persona list.
Yeah. Okay. And I will translate it if I remember what the actual Jungian turn is. No, stop
Hermit?
it. Yeah, there is a hermit, but it's not called the hermit.
I figured, because
The loner?
that sounds like they would be an archetype.
Yeah, I think it might be
It
called
might
the
be.
loner. There is one that is, yeah. I don't know why. You know, we don't even need to get hung up on this. Like I said, I have a list somewhere written down.
Somewhere.
The fact is, you're gonna meet all of these kids anyway, and
Yeah.
that's all that matters. You will
Yeah.
meet them.
Well,
I do, with their character descriptions, I do have each of their archetypes listed next to them. I just have no idea where I put them at the moment.
yeah. I just figured it was a question that somebody in the audience might want to know. What are these archetypes? So I figured I'd ask it. We don't have to get hung up on it. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
just go on to what you're saying about.
Right now, the only one that matters is Kenji, who is the everyman.
Okay.
And because Kenji is the everyman, he is designed to be just the most average Japanese boy, because Kenji's from Japan. Each of the other kids will be from some other place around the world. I don't want to reveal. I'll tell you at least one person is from Texas. That just happens because it's my story. So yes,
Yeah.
but
Naturally.
Kenji's from Japan. He is.
Anybody from Canada?
Let me think. I'm trying to remember the list. Yes, actually.
Oh.
I asked that because I'm Canadian. I'm from Canada.
Believe it or not, there is one from Canada.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll let you go on with Kenji, was it?
Yeah. So because he is Kenji Tanaka, because he is Flit's got the whole list.
Oh, there it is.
Thank you. Flit.
Orphan.
Yeah, the orphan is often on the list. There's another name for it. I don't think that's the one I'm using, but the word means the same. But innocent,
okay.
orphan, hero, caregiver, explorer, rebel, lover, creator, jester, sage, magician.
And he says, I'm not here. Well, thank you, Flit, for not being here. I mean, for the list.
So the list does change a lot because other people, like I've seen, like Ruler has been in the list, which some of its properties are shared between a couple of the other people. I've seen Orphan not be in the list. I forget the exact list I used because it's all written down somewhere.
Yeah.
I never fully unpacked because I've been moving a lot. And so it's probably in my box that has most of my art and stuff in it.
And if I read that correctly, he's only got 11 there, not 12.
true. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he's missing one. He's probably missing the ruler.
Okay, so we keep interrupting the Kenjis.
Interrupting Kenji. So because he is the everyman and the most average Japanese boy possible, when he falls into the dreamscape, as you can see in the preview pages, he is playing baseball after school, because baseball is the most popular ball sport in Japan. And he falls into his dream, which is the most common dream that any Japanese person has, where he is running through basically endless hallways of an old Japanese house that's dark, poorly lit, if at all, and he ends up getting
So-
chased by all number of different things that are very common to Japanese nightmares, like yokai, which in this case, almost like mimics. There are yokai disguised as furniture in the house. You see that on the cover. And the most common dream that Japanese people have is the old hag in white. She's like wearing a wedding kimono, ends up chasing him through. And he is in grave danger because he could be affected by all this. It's a dream, but he could very well die in a dream.
Yeah. Almost looks like a maze of sorts.
Yes, and the thing is, which was a very specific direction that I gave Phasma, and I said, do not keep the layouts consistent. Just kind of like free ball it each time, because when you're in a dream, if you turn around, things are not the same as they were when you were looking before.
Yeah. And Flit says, oh yeah, ruler equals 12.
Yeah, I thought that was the one that was missing.
Yeah, I do like the art, and I think everybody else was liking it. Kenji Tanaka falls unconscious while playing baseball with him. And awakes
Yeah, I
in-
included a kind of like a quick back cover. I wanted to do the back cover just really simple like this because it reminded me of those old like booklets kids would have, like a Pokemon activity book or something, and
Yeah.
where it would just have maybe a colored background with some art thrown on it and simple words. I thought it fit the overall theme and age demographic appropriately. The story's gonna be fun. I'm writing it in a way that if you're older than middle school, you can definitely enjoy it. The reason it's 10 and up though is that all of the content will be appropriate for somebody around that age, maybe even younger, but the language might at times be too difficult for somebody who's, say, like younger than a 4th or 5th grader.
Yeah, and that's good having, I'd say a comic, of that thing, because then everybody a lot of people of every age can read it and, get to it, and, enjoy it, because even an adult's going to be able to enjoy this, right?
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you were into these type of stories when you were younger. But I've always had the same mentality that I developed reading manga as a kid, and it's the mentality that the manga industry typically has, is that you don't treat kids like they're quote-unquote kids. You treat them as individuals. So you want to write a story that they will continue to like as they're older.
Yeah.
You know.
And you just don't treat them as if they're dumb either, because kids are smart. They're smarter than we give them credit for, anyways. I know how smart.
Yeah,
as a
they're
kid.
smart. They just don't know things yet, right? So, I mean, as a writer, you also have the opportunity of letting them learn things they didn't know before.
Yeah. Because I remember figuring out my dad was playing Santa Claus at this thing that his union put on for Christmas. It's like
Yeah.
my dad's gone when Santa's here, and when Santa leaves, my dad reappears. I figured it out, and I was like 10.
Oh yeah, that's just what he wants you to think.
My dad tried everything to get me to convince me not. Well, it's just holding the reindeer. Keeping them company while Santa was down there. I'm like,
The
nah.
real conspiracy is that every parent wants you to eventually give up believing on Santa Claus and thinking it was them the whole time, so then Santa Claus can do what he does without any interruptions.
So, what can I think to ask you? Well, you guys got a Patreon for this, so people can access it early. How long do you think it's gonna take to complete it? You were saying there's a chapter or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how you worded it.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could break down some of that, but completion, we have no idea, honestly. This first one is a 30-page comic, and we basically got the preview up as soon as the preview pages were done. So there's basically 5 pages done, about 17% of the comic. And the reason we opened up a Patreon, or I've been needing to open one up for Exonomus Chaos in general for a while, but I put up a tier specifically called the Dreamers tier that is just for the Dreamscape Dilemma if people are only interested in that. And anybody who backs that tier, half of that money will go to Phasma because we're splitting everything that this project makes. And it will let you see the pages as they're done early. It's going to be one of those things where between life, like work and stuff, and the fact that Phasma is also making her own stories, that it's going to be uploaded or updated frequently enough that if you back it, you're going to get your money's worth each month. But it might be like, oh, we went a week without a page getting updated at all, and then next week, out of nowhere, 3 pages got made or something like that. You know?
Yeah. So
It's not going to be at the rate of a page a week, but it is going to be very inconsistent. So I don't know what we're expecting. Maybe we'll finish it by midsummer.
okay, so more than a
Could
page, more than a page a month, you'd say.
On average, yes. It just depends how things go.
Yeah, so maybe 2 pages a month for sure.
I think that we could probably put no less than 2 pages a month. I think we can guarantee that. It's also just the way Phasma works, as
Yeah.
any artist can understand. We've been in delayed because Phasma's like me, and we'll get distracted by contests.
Oh, I was thinking of 2 things specifically.
Oh yeah, and also by the Hoyo games, which
Yeah.
I completely. It's my fault. I got Phasma addicted
You
to like
fucker.
Genshin Impact
could
and all
you?
these other things. Which, hey Rick, you should talk to me. Maybe I can get you back into Genshin Impact.
Genshin Impact. Yeah, I'd have to download it again.
To do multiplayer with.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good game.
But no, so it's been slow because you were working on that contest where Battle Ball
Oh,
came
yeah.
from,
Yeah.
and you need to get some Corvid Kid done. But you're the type of person that will like not draw for a while, and then you'll just like lock yourself in the room for the day and spit
Yeah.
out a bunch of stuff at once.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say, that's probably what's gonna happen very soon because I haven't drawn in a while. Once I'm getting over this hurdle for chapter 1 for Battle Ball, I'm gonna get more
Yeah.
Battle Ball done. And I also was going back to Corvid Kid the comic, so yeah, I'm starting to get back into the swing.
yeah.
It's so weird. That happens to me a lot.
I know what it's like to get distracted too. I get distracted by a lot of things too. I do my own comic books too. Some of them I use the drawings for. Some of them I hire it out. It's just a pain in the neck. I get distracted a lot by my YouTube channel here.
You gotta say.
Oh well, even today. Today's a particularly distracting day because there's a talk about Hoyo. There's a ZZZ update that's happening. And that's probably what I'm going to do immediately after we're done with the show.
I was updating in the background as I joined.
But no, there will be you will get enough updates every month to justify it. I can guarantee that will happen. Even if we're like a little late on a page coming out, the whole thing is that you'll get any behind the scenes. So even if it's like we'll throw some thumbnails up there, maybe I'll just make some behind the scenes art that will only ever go onto the Patreon. So you just get like some exclusive Dreamscape Dilemma related art from me. That'll be up there too. I will not allow distractions to stop people's money from being worth what they spent. You know,
Yeah.
that
Yes.
comes first.
So here is, I've got your Patreon up here. So,
Oh, wow, I forgot Patreon has a light mode. I'm so used to everything that I open up just immediately being switched to dark mode. I might have like an extension or something.
and
for
I
that.
think I clicked the free version.
Yeah, no, you should anybody go on there, at least sign up for the free access, because I do put up a lot of stuff on there for free. You get your notifications. Some of it is just stuff I've uploaded to the website anyway, because there are separate tiers. I should probably explain the difference between the tiers. There's the freelancer tier
Okay.
and the dreamer tier, and they're both the same cost. The
Let's see.
freelancer tier gives you access to all of the behind the scenes stuff for the normal website, right? Which sometimes it might be some things available early. Maybe I'll put like the inked pages or thumbnails or sketches and stuff up there that will never be anywhere else. But otherwise, it's the companion support for the free website. And you do get exclusive stuff. Dreamer, on the other hand, is the one for the Dreamscape Dilemma, the one that we split, and that will give you just everything regarding the Dreamscape Dilemma, including the PDF of the finished chapter when it's done, if you supported during the time that chapter was worked on. Just a single month, anytime, because whatever you threw out there is probably going to be worth more than what we're going to be charging for the final PDF. The first one might be slightly more expensive than the rest of them just because it's 30 pages. I haven't decided exactly how much, but due to inflation, I used to like $1 digital comics. I don't think we can afford to sell it for $1. Well, probably $2. Splitting $1
Yeah.
each for each digital sale.
Yeah.
It will probably work fine if we can get the volume for it. But if you back Dreamer, you get all those bonuses. You'll get your PDF anyway.
Now, have you thought about doing a third tier where you do both?
There is a third tier called the Freelance Streamer, which
Oh.
is just a combination of both of the tiers.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
di- I di- I didn't go down
You might
far
need to
enough.
Scroll down further, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's, just a little bit less than, well, it's showing 8 and 8 for me, Canadian, an 8 and 8.16, and here it's showing 15.50, so 50 cents, say 50 cents.
You know what's weird is I think that's just because of a conversion thing, right? Because it's actually 5 and 10 in U.S. And so there's probably due to the like transfer fees and stuff for being out of the country. After doing all that rounding, it looks like you're saving money, but you're actually probably paying slightly more for the base tier.
Yeah.
I would blame Patreon for that, not me. I just set the prices. I don't know if they let you set prices in other countries. I might go in and see if that's an option. I know some places do, but as of now, I'm sorry if you're not in America, I have no control over this.
Yeah. Oh, so basically, I in Canada, I save 50 cents. If you're in the States,
Yeah.
you don't save a dime, a penny.
But there's some people that just don't like
Yeah.
Patreon for justifiable reasons. I do not blame you.
Yeah.
So I did put the option in the announcement page, if people read it, that you could just like message me, email or DM me anywhere that I am and say, like, I am interested in subscribing. I just don't want to subscribe through Patreon.
Hmm.
So you can actually go, I will set up a subscription through PayPal. I can do that. I could set up like an open one anyway and just put it on the website for people to click on.
Yeah.
If they want, but I can give a tailored subscription. Now, the opposite is some people don't like PayPal, especially because unless you are a business, PayPal kind of doxes your real name, and I think Patreon only just does whatever username you put. So you got to pick your poison on that one. Those are just the only two options I have. Unless
There
you want
is
to physically mail me money.
there is Subscribestar too.
I have Subscribestar. I have one actually. I could go back to resetting it up. The issue with that one is it requires a bank, and I really don't want to have to set it up on a bank account.
Ah.
I will if I absolutely have to.
And hey, Mike Howard, thanks for dropping into this. Like, share, and hi. And Metal Flit says, "Give Metal money," and then puts the link to your.
Dude, Flip's so good about that. Anytime he's in my chat, he will put like the donation link or whatever in there. Really good mod.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will. Like, if people would prefer to use Subscribestar, let me know, and I'll go back and finish it. I haven't touched the Subscribestar in forever. I'd have
Yeah.
a lot of backlog stuff to upload on there, but like, I'll go and reset it up. I'll go through the pain of actually connecting it to a bank account. Subscribestar is just painful because PayPal doesn't like them, so you can't request payouts that way.
And he says,
You have to go
if you
directly.
hate Patreon, go here to give Metal money.
But if you do that alternative source and I set up subscription, I'll just have you in a ledger, and anytime, maybe not immediately, maybe I'll just route
Yeah.
it to like the end of the week. If there's been stuff posted at the end of the week, I'll just send you an email that contains all of the stuff you would have gotten otherwise.
So, and you don't know how many chapters there's going to be yet for this, right?
I know that the first volume, if we get to it, this is kind of an experiment, right? This is also why we're splitting it, is we're just trying chapter 1 at the moment.
Okay.
So we're guaranteed chapter 1. If there's enough interest in it, then we'll do more. I have 10 chapters planned for the first volume, which is kind of normal for a tankobon.
Uh-huh. That's pretty good. And will that cover the whole story of all these? I think you said 12 kids?
It will cover introducing everybody. It's like a first arc type thing. By
Okay.
the end of that, they will make it to Dream Central Station. If that ends up being the cliffhanger you're left on because of some unfortunate part of life, I'm sorry. But
So that's sort of like our Final Fantasy thing that we stopped after the first chapter, and it's been like 3 years. That's
listen.
Oh my god.
You're not the only one who's stuck on this too. I have another campaign that I'm actually running with Phasma and our friends that we haven't get. Everybody's been pushed off to the side because I've been moving back and forth and all over the place, and I'm trying to get things running again. I've got too many things to run. Okay.
Dude, that's so fair. Running a campaign's hard, dude.
Your
Yeah.
campaign's easier to run than theirs though, because I made the mistake of deciding to do map combat for their campaign, which honestly gamified it way too much. I did not like that. We are going away from map combat when we're going back. It's going to be like how I'm running the campaign with you and the guys, Phasma. It's going to be more theater of the mind. We're just going to have everybody on the screen or whatever, and it'll be so much easier. But the issue is I have to convert everything that I already made into that. So that's why we've been waiting a while. And also I need to get a hold of Dillard because nobody can get a hold of Dillard.
Yeah, I know he was going through something at the moment a few weeks ago. Or I heard that's what it was. But apparently Marsupio talked to him a couple weeks ago, so.
Yeah.
So what else can you say about this that I haven't thought to?
Oh, well, probably the big question, because I said it's like Digimon. And I even showed off the little thing on the back cover. Didn't even catch your mind, I guess. But what about like Kenji's partner? Because Kenji he can't do anything about these nightmares himself. He's basically just running from them, right? Um,
that little guy on the front cover in the sheet.
or on the back cover. Well, Kenji's on the back cover above him. Yeah, the little dude with the sword.
Oh, okay. I thought.
No, that's a yokai. that's a Katatsu that's chasing him.
I love those yokai, by the way.
Yeah, they're fun. I want us to have as many fun monsters and stuff in the story as possible. I don't want to spoil much, but if we make it through this chapter, the very next thing we're going to is the Wild West. So like we're gonna see everything in this.
There's
story
gonna be so many
eventually.
crows in it.
Yeah, but yeah, that little guy on that back cover there is Momotaro the Brave, who is a dream recollection of the fable character from Japanese history and Shintoism, Momotaro, which means Peach Boy, who is the most popular like story in Japan, especially among children. From their history. So, being the everyman, the manifestation that comes to Kenji's rescue that fights alongside of him is this like little, almost chibi version of Momotaro.
Cartoonified.
Everybody will have. I don't know if toonified, pixified, maybe like a fae. Like he is very very chibi, but I don't know. Everything just kind of looks toony here. You know, there's no avoiding that. But everybody will have their own little manifestation, their own dream that helps them fight the nightmares, and that's Kenji's. That's why I uploaded the back cover, because I wanted to give a little teaser for that.
Cool.
I also just there's actually a reason I started with Kenji, and it's almost like a filter. Because we are kind of doing like a manga-esque style. We're doing it in manga size, which honestly I think actually almost speeds things up, because the page proportions for manga means that it's easy to just cram your art in there without having to focus on everything. And also manga's kind of designed to be read fast. I think you'll notice I don't think there's a single page that has more than 50 words on it. So there's like a single page that the only words on it at all are like a thump, like a single sound effect.
Okay. Oh, that was because I got the wrong thing there.
But yeah, so it's designed to be read fast, and it's got like this manga look to it, which is going to attract some people, and it's also going to turn away some other people at the same time. So I decided as a filter, we're going to start with the Japanese kid.
Yeah.
Right. It's not because he's the everyman. It's actually strictly like why I started with hunting a succubus and Next Dynamous Chaos. I like to start a story with a filter to make sure that it gets the audience it should have, and then after that we can kind of just do whatever.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether I did that with my first comic or not. I don't think so. Well, I did, but I didn't. I think. I'm not sure whether Canadian Shield, you'd say I did that or not. It got the. Sort of put a filter to get the. I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know. I don't know if you even knew what you were doing with that one. Just kind of doing it.
Yeah.
It will, so that's actually the worst part of it. It will in fact read like a Western comic, though. It will be left to right, because Flit is asking which way it's going. That's the way we're drawing it. That's the way I'm writing it. I did not specify to Phasma that it was going to be read from right how I wanted it anyway, so we're just going to work with it. Yeah. No, if you
You know,
had drawn it the other way, I would have done like what I do with Realms and Relics and
flip it.
with On Tour. Yeah, where I draw it right to left as if I'm drawing a manga, and then I flip it. And so
Oh
people get
no.
that like classic old school, why'd they flip this manga experience?
Ugh.
So yeah, if you've read those stories, well, I mean, I flipped Realms and Relics afterwards. That one was originally uploaded right to left, and some people were complaining. It's like, okay, well then you're going to get a flipped version. Both of them are available to read on the x9mschaos.com, but the webcomic version, where each page is uploaded one by one, is the flipped version. So everybody's bangs actually go the opposite direction.
Ew.
But yeah, it'll be left to right. You'll be able to read it like an American comic book. It's just going to have a very manga feel to it. But yeah.
So
Something else I forgot.
Basmo, what got you into comics or manga or both?
Comic making or just the reading comics?
Both. I was gonna ask both of the other eventually. So,
Oh, fair. Starting with what got me into comics. Thinking way back, I think it might have actually been Tezuka, because I actually grew up watching what was it, the Astro Boy 2007 film, the one that's
Oh, that one's
the one
kind of
with
fun.
what's his face? Fucking Nick Cage.
Yeah.
I forget he's in there, but And so it then led to me watching the original, I think like even the 50s ones. And then I just picked up an interest from like manga from there. And
okay.
then I started comic making like really recently. Like I want to say 2022.
Yes.
Let me double check.
In
Because
fact, I will
Courage is
take some
new.
credit for you even starting to make comics.
I know you will.
Yeah. Well, because you were doing animation before that, which you
Yeah.
also more or less started right about the time that you just did it. For those what are they called? The jam, that one
Animation
summer
jams.
jam, the animation jam, yeah. Right, and
That's
you were
where it
making
debuted.
Corvid Kid, and then I was giving you options. It's like, yeah, animation takes a long time. You should probably either write them in like novel form, which you did start doing that too.
Yes.
But I remember even saying that one of the things that got you inspired to start making a comic was the panel that I hosted for the Summerfest that year.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yes. That was it. Because I'm looking through my, what do you call it? My Newgrounds page. Yes, Corvid Kid was only released in 2024, but I've started working like way back 2022, 2023. It's been in the works for quite a bit. But I did start doing comic strips in 2022. That's like the first stuff I
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
did. I totally forgot
Because
about this
I
too.
told you to do that because you were looking for something you could do faster while you were still like finishing school because you couldn't do
Mhm.
animation. Like, why didn't you just do comic strips?
Easy. And they were fun. They're good gags, good lighthearted fun, as opposed to the very macabre main series, which is very somber. I would say it's very somber, very tragic, but still fun.
Yeah. Well, in your main series
You
too,
try.
for Corvid Kid, is even precisely one of the reasons why I went to you for this one,
Hmm.
because there's like overlap in some of the themes. Because in Corvid Kid, you've got a lot of dream stuff happening early on.
Yes.
A lot of it's
The
happening in
first
dreams.
the first chapter
Hmm.
is called The Nightmare after all, and was the
Yeah.
title of the original short that started everything.
And there's also with the demons and stuff involved, it's got like that very nightmare feeling, even once it goes back into the waking time. So
Yes.
these are a very complementary series in some ways.
Yeah. But Dreamscape Dilemma needs more crows. Needs more crows.
And I told you, anytime
I'm
we're in an
going to put
environment
yeah,
where it makes sense to be crows, you can put crows. You even slip some birds
I
into
did.
the like almost cloudy ocean thing where he's falling into the
Yeah.
dreamscape, and I did not complain at all. I'm like, yeah, go to town.
Absolutely. And I like that you brought that up too because I really like that scene because I wanted to go for like I remember mentioning it where it's like the sea of unconsciousness, that Jungian theory or Jungian concept. Where it's like okay, ocean, like motion motifs. I can do like the wave motif and it looks like clouds and I'm like, okay, I can make these birds look fish-esque. And so it's like a merging or like a marriage of the two concepts of sea and sky.
Yeah.
I'm just I loved doing this guy. It was so fun.
Now Flip puts up the a link to find your work, Phasmagora's work on the Newsgrounds. Cool. And yeah, thanks, Flip.
Yes.
Somehow I think you have an obsession with crows.
She does.
A little
Yes.
bit. Yes.
Why an obsession with crows? Or do you know?
I
that
love
cool?
crows. I also wake up to crow videos. That's the first thing I do when I wake up. There's this channel I've subscribed to called Fuff about this lady who's bonded with this crow. And just I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
That one is crows before hoes. Support your local murder.
Yeah, I love that one. Oh my god, I have it. Yes, I need to put that somewhere.
New martial art. Chromaga.
Crow Maga.
I just love them. They're smart and clever little creatures, and great vehicles for the story that I want to tell. Because they're
Yeah.
all, because like they're a very social bird.
Okay.
Where is
Very
it?
familial.
It's very
Yeah, if you
relevant to
didn't know,
Samson's story.
Crows actually have families. Not just like the big herds, like the flocks that go around, but like
Yeah.
when they're not migrating, they do separate into smaller families. So, and they mate for life. So you have like a mom and a dad, and they're raising the kids, and then the kids go off and have their own families, and they're actually not very different from us in those ways.
That and they
Yeah.
pass down familial knowledge, and I think that's so fascinating as a
Mhm.
species that they do. Like it's been tested before. Like if you like, they will remember faces, and even generations after that will remember the faces of like say people who've wronged the crows. It's like
Or
they
people
hold
who've done right by
grudges.
them too. Like they will
Yes.
be nice to people who are nice to their family. Crows are really cool. Actually, all members of the true Corvid family are that level of intelligence, with some variance based on their size. The bigger ones tend to be slightly more intelligent than the smaller ones, probably just because of brain size. And then all Corvids in general are pretty intelligent overall.
And ravens are really good at mimicry. Like it's uncanny how great they
Mhm.
are at it.
They are possibly the smartest bird.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no problem. So, well, have you ever seen? I think they're supposed to be crows. It's an old cartoon, Heckle and Jekyll.
Those are magpies, but
Oh,
they are
yeah.
corvids, and Heckle
Yes.
and Jekyll is great.
I thought there was a couple of crows out there, anyways. Maybe not Heckle and Jekyll. I forget. I think there's
a
a.
few different crow characters.
Heard it?
There's a few different crow cartoon characters throughout history, but Heckle and Jekyll are probably the most famous corvid, next to maybe, I think these ones were crows. The one from Dumbo are also pretty popular.
Oh, I think.
You know, you ever see an elephant fly? But yeah, actually, I had to, for my uncle's birthday one year, I drew him like a really, really detailed Heckle and Jekyll, because my uncle is just obsessed with birds.
Rightfully so.
And those were his like favorite characters, were Heckle and Jekyll.
So, I know it's not exactly a crow, but have you introduced her to the cult of Raven?
Oh
He's
yes.
aware of the Cult of Raven, yes.
Although it's not based on the actual bird. What else is there?
Yeah.
I guess we.
Almost everyone I know is at least tangentially aware of the Cult of Raven, especially because like I always make the joke if somebody's like, "Hey, you want to join my cult?" It's like, "Sorry, I'm already in one, and that's my limit."
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to be in one. I guess I'm associated with the Cult of Raven. That's about all I can claim. Trying to think if there's any more about the Dreamscape dilemma that we can talk about.
Let me think about that. Other than like, hey, if people usually have to yell at just me if they want something to get done related to X Dynamis Chaos, which is not very effective, though you should. It's more effective than not yelling at me, I will say. But hey, this time, if a page hasn't come out long enough, you can just like go over to Phasma's Twitter and yell at her. That's an option this time around.
Yeah.
2 people. There's 2 targets now.
Yeah.
Not sure whether that's a good thing for Phasma.
It's attention. I have none of it.
Yeah. Well, we were
All
also
of my
joking
work's
about
so-
this the other day because I was talking. We were talking about in our group chat romantic partners and how like it's bad for artists
yeah.
and artists to be together. And I said it's like for generations, men have complained about having nagging wives, but I just look at that. I'm like, I want that in my life. Because it would be so much more productive if I had somebody nagging me to get things done all the time. So it's like artists need that, You feel free to nag an artist to get their work done. We might like complain, we might moan a little in the moment, but we'll be grateful that somebody is actually pushing us with the cattle prod to get the work done.
Yeah, we need something to motivate us, right?
Yeah.
You also said that might be the Irishman in you, and I thought that
Yeah,
was
that
funny.
might be the Irishman in me just a little bit. The Irishman who just wants to lie in the field, frolic in the shamrocks all day, looking at the clouds, maybe writing some limericks. But no, nay, there'd be work to be done, and the only one who can get it done is the wife.
Yeah. Mega Metal, formerly Twitter, and he puts your link in your Twitter link in the. Although
Well, both of us too. We're the easiest people to find. Because
yeah.
we just have like the same usernames everywhere we go, right? So
Yeah.
if you type in
Yes.
/ except for my Twitch is the only one that's different, and that is an issue with Justin TV back in the day. But like basically anywhere else you go, if you put / I'm a Demetal afterwards, you'll probably find me. If you put / Phasmagore afterwards, you'll probably find her. Except I think DeviantArt, you added the NG for Newgrounds at the end of yours.
Oh yeah, because that one that's weird. Sorry, DeviantArt was the only one where my username was not available.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's similar to me too. I use my comic company pretty much everywhere, Cross Comics everywhere, and with DeviantArt too. I had to use a slightly different name there. The real Cross Comics was taken by somebody.
Yeah. Well, you know me, I actually separate myself from the brand. So pretty much everywhere that I upload things, I'll have my own personal user, especially because once in a blue moon, I like to make fan art or I do commissions for other people. And then like X Dynamis Chaos will also have a profile. So DeviantArt has an X Dynamis Chaos profile. Like any of these mirror sites, Tapas, there's an X Dynamis Chaos profile, Webtoon, all of those. And I do think if you are trying to encompass as many things that say like Rick or I are trying to encompass with our stuff, it is helpful that your brand has a profile. And then if you're like me, and you might be extremely dangerous for your own brand, it's probably good to have your own separate profiles.
Well, having my own, own profile. It's probably just my brand profile. It's probably why I don't do as much damage because I don't even, I don't get on there to do anything, shall we say political or whatever. I'm not going to do much to hurt my brand more than, just my brand being what it is.
No, I don't think with me either it has anything to do with politics. Uh, I think more so, I am just weird. Just straight up, I'm
Putting it
just
mildly.
weird. You know,
Oh, I'm
little
weird
bit of
too.
perv here and there too, but like maybe it'd be best if my personal interests outside of my stories aren't directly involved with the story. Though it's hard to say that because the main character of the titular comic is me. So it's kind of like as much as I've tried to separate it, there's a little bit of a backfire there. It's like, well, that I can never ever fully be separated.
I mean, it's hard to. What do you mean you've tried to separate it? Look at the
Well,
look
okay.
at it.
When I started, originally the metal was not going to be the main character of Rex Dynamis Chaos, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was writing the story first, and then I realized when it came to making the characters, instead of just making new characters and having to make models for them, I was just going to be lazy and put me and my friends there because I already know how we would act in each situation, and it kind
And
of
how they
just
look.
grew into its own thing.
So which one is Buck?
Which one's Buck?
I mean, you know Buck.
Yeah, I know Buck. I don't know the.
Yeah.
I don't. Unfortunately, I have not read any of your comics yet.
Oh, but Rick, I've read all of yours. I mean, I've had to as the editor, but I'm not counting that. I've read all your comics.
Yeah, I know. I guess I want the physical copy, and I gotta order
You
it.
have to pay for those. Yeah.
Hey, I
I
got.
would actually ship you some complimentary, but to be honest, because I do the print on demand, I don't have any copies.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Also, what was it say? I was thinking about. Oh yeah, Timothy. Like I got his first one, and no, I got it digital, and I haven't even read it. I think I started to read it, but I didn't finish it.
I worked on Melvin #1, and I
Yeah.
don't have a copy of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I actually bought mine.
Yeah. Well, he said
But
he was going to send me one, and then I think like I just never gave him an address, and maybe I should bother him and give one now. But the reason was I've moved 2 times in the last 6 months, and I've moved. Oh, let me think about that. 4 or 5 times in the last 5 years. So
yeah,
it's like I intentionally. You got to be careful when you're asking people to mail you stuff. It's like, am I going to be at the same place long enough to actually receive the mail?
yeah. Like heck, that's why I got some stuff that's supposed to come from Hero Shack, and it's like I'm like hold on to it till I get address that I believe is going to be stable.
Yeah.
Heck, even part of my thing for Tim was, a physical copy of 1, 2, and 3 of Melvin, and I'm like, hold off to sending it to me till and actually I should bug him for those. Now that I think I got a fairly stable address, because just like you, I've moved a little bit in the last couple years, year and a half.
Yeah. Ugh, it's rough too. Like if I was still in the DFW area, I would probably just get like a local PO box and not care because then I could just like even if I'm moving in that area, I could go to the PO box and pick things up there and just keep paying for that. But the fact that I've moved 1,700 miles, like I'm a couple states away now. It's like, God, do I want to get a PO box over here? And then we're not even within walking distance of where I was before, so it would have been dumb for me to get a PO box over there. I would have to walk like 3 hours to get to it. So I think if like I'm just gonna be stable in a place for a while, I'll wait till I'm stable in the place and just have them mail it directly to me.
Yeah, probably that's where you are now. I think you're stable now, right? Where you're
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not confident.
Well, I remember. Well, I sent you the first issue of the Canadian Shield. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a couple of your stuff in my box somewhere. I have every comic that's been sent to me, whether I backed it or it was gifted from someone because I worked on it or they just wanted to send it to me for the
Yeah,
past few years from all of our friends, are in a box over there.
yeah,
I can't recall which box it is, but they are over there.
yeah. Well, of course, I sent because you were my co-host a lot, unofficial
Yeah.
co-host a lot at the time. So I figured, send you a copy.
Yeah, that was before I even started doing editing work for you.
Yeah. And now, right now, you're Cross Comics official editor.
Yes, yes, yes. I don't know if I wear that title proudly or not, but I wear it.
Yeah. Hey, but if there's and the thing I do, if there ends up being any mistakes in the things that get printed, I take full responsibility. You know, yeah, your name's down, but if anybody says anything to me, and it's like it's my responsibility because I did something wrong, either not getting you to check it enough or not changing it or something like
Yeah.
that, saving it properly, sending off the wrong copy. And
Well, I think
that's,
you use my actual publishing name too,
yeah,
Malcolm Turzek. When
yeah,
Tim added me into the credits for Melvin #1, he put me down as the metal. And I'm like, well, that's fine. That's perfect. That's not the name I use for publishing, but that's fine too, because maybe we don't want Melvin attached to my name. I don't know.
yeah,
No, Melvin one's good. It's fine. I just like to poke fun at Tim. He knows it. This is the relationship that we have.
yeah,
He did take a lot of my suggestions to heart, but I was mostly just a dialogue coach for that one, which is what he put me down as, like a dialogue consultant.
yeah. Uh, I think I'm not sure. Yeah, you've been more than a dialogue coach and slowly becoming more and more than that, I think. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Well, we've changed quite a bit. I've even one of the big things with editing your stuff, especially recently, is like I'm forcing you to put more description and detail information into the panels because a lot of your old scripts are written with like just the dialogue, and the artist has to like guess, okay, these two people are talking, how should this panel go? And that's kind of fine enough, but I think there's definitely a few times where it's like, no, this panel needs
yeah,
more description, Rick. So
yeah,
we've been doing quite a bit, and there was even times where you were remastering #1, and I was there with you, and I even got you to alter some of the shadows and stuff. Like you had to do that yourself. So
yeah,
I've done more than just dialogue consulting.
yeah. Yeah, and like heck, I know. Yeah, I asked when the first time I put it in you for you. Okay, what do you want? Hey, what name do you want? What do you want me to put as your title?
Yeah. Well, I always tell people for publishing, Malcolm Turzek. If you want the full name, you can always put Malcolm Reinhardt Turzek. It's my actual initials backwards. And I did have reasons for coming up with each of the names, but it's not like I hide it. I've said on this show many times before. The reason I even use a publishing name is so that I can be found, because my last name, the most common first name, given name for my surname, is my given name, and the most common middle name for my surname is my middle name, and the most common combination is the combination of those names, and I'm a junior, right? And then when you find out, just because I guess genetics work that way, the most common field for people with my
Oh my
name
god.
is publishing. So there's actually, it's not even really a doxing because it's all public information. There's a lot of Thomas Richard McGraths in publishing. There's even a lot of Thomas Richard McGrath Juniors in publishing. So no, it's not even about hiding my name. It's about actually being able to be found amongst a crowd of people with all the same name. Is why I have a pen name.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's such a funny set of coincidence. I'll delete that.
What's funny is my parents didn't even know this. It's not like they were trying to pick the most popular name or anything, because I'm named after my dad, and his parents didn't know that either. But the second coincidence is that my middle brother, the one directly after me, has the second most popular given name and second most popular middle name for our surname as well. And they didn't know that. It's like, yeah, of course. That just happens naturally because everyone in these families prefers those names.
Yeah, it's the thing is too, when your dad was probably named it, like I'm not sure how old he is, but it could have been different back then, but because stuff like that
Sheer coincidence. But these are the most common name going back generations. I would say when I was looking, you find this name popping up commonly for like 200 to 300 years.
Well, yeah, I can see that for Thomas for sure. Yeah, Thomas and
part
Richard.
of it is we have biblical name, right? The first name. So of course, amongst a mostly Catholic community, you're going to see Thomas popping up a lot. But both of these common names are for sure coincidence with my dad because my dad was a twin. And as a twin, Thomas literally means twin. So that being the second one that came out, they named him the twin. And both of them have the middle name Richard because my grandfather's middle name was Richard and my grandmother's maiden name was Richards. So like half of the boys in my family's middle name is Richard.
Yeah. Well, heck, I was named after my dad and my two grandfathers.
Yeah.
So
it's like, it's sheer coincidence, but it's like, yeah, but is it actually sheer coincidence or is it like a pattern that happens to everyone because this name is already out there and everybody just keeps naming everybody after each other?
Well, when I was doing some thing for back stuff for my family history, I noticed a lot of stuff that was done way back when was they took their wife, I think it was the wife's usually last name, and they ended up using it as a middle name for one of their kids.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's basically my family is like that, right? Because like almost all the guys have Richard as a middle name. Like they all share the same middle name for the most part. I think maybe there's one that doesn't, maybe two, and then both girls and then all of everybody's daughter all have Rose as a middle name because my grandmother's name was Rose.
Yeah. Yeah, but more what I mean is their last name, not their...
Well, no, so the reason they chose it was more so because her middle name was Richards.
Oh, okay.
Right? Even though my grandfather did have the middle name Richard, it was more like, oh, they match, so we're going to name them Richard out because of your maiden name was Richards.
Yeah. Well, what I more mean, it's like before she married, say she had the name Johnson or whatever, right? So then it becomes whatever Johnson, new last name, last name of the father. Or married name, however you want to say it. Surname.
Yeah, I know, a lot of people were, instead of doing that tacky thing where they hyphenate the name, which is awful because it creates a new last name that becomes a mess. It's like, how many generations are you going to continue doing this? Are you going to get like 5 hyphenated names after a while? They just like take it as an extra middle name and be like, yeah, I'm going to keep my maiden name, but it's going to be like right before the last name.
Yeah.
It's just a worse version of Mexican names.
Oh,
yeah, but I'm not even saying for the
8 or 10 names.
I'm not even saying for the wife. Like my grandfather, right? His mother's maiden name was Russell, so he got the name John Russell McTavish, which was
yeah. Or sometimes they'll do both, right? Where they'll give you a unique middle name, and then you'll still have like a second middle name. That's it, and then the surname.
Yeah.
I know you have two middle names?
Yeah, because named after my mom's dad and my dad's dad. So, and named after my dad, so I'm Richard Charles John Piper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anytime I think of like really long names, the meme that hops in my head is actually Mexicans, and it's from Spy Kids, where Carmen has to like say her full name as the password for getting into the secret base, and she's just like rattling on for a whole like 5 seconds.
Relatable.
Which I think the tradition actually comes from Rome.
Okay.
Wait, Rome?
Oh yeah, dude.
How did it
So,
get from there to Mexico?
well, the fact that
Spaniards?
Spain
Oh,
was previously part of Rome, and a lot of Mexican cultures come from Spain. I mean, the language is a romantic language.
Espanol.
So, yeah.
I didn't think the
But
Spaniards took that from Rome.
yeah, well, it was just common for mostly people in higher status, where a Roman person might have like 5 names on average, right? They'll have like the actual family name that everybody shares, the name of the house, which is kind of like one of the earliest uses of surnames before they became common everywhere. But then somebody might have like a familial name that they're called, which might have something to do with like their birth order. So often, like the first son would be called Gaius, right? That's like where you see that name come up, and then they'll have like a different name for the birth order. If you get to a seventh son, they might be named Septimus, right? So they'll have like that name. Then they might have their public name, which is kind of like the given name that they're actually called. Then they might have a court name, and between all these things, you'll see somebody that will have like 5 names in their title when they're announced.
Wow.
So blame the Romans.
I blame the Romans for a lot of things.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't really think I have anything else to say about the Dreamscape dilemma.
Yeah.
Particularly, we've
Oh,
gotten on
I
crazy
got off
tangents.
topic.
That's what we were here for. If anybody in the chat has like particular questions, I'll answer them as long as they're not like extreme spoilers. Actually, that was one of the things about the Patreon that I was going to mention too. So if you back any tier, you also get like the supporter role in the Discord or anywhere else that I might have like a members only area. I might start putting in some like members only areas of the site where I can green light users to get into. If you support at all, you get put into those areas. And I will answer basically any spoiler question at all. I'll put like spoiler tags on it, but I don't care. If you're paying, you deserve to know. And it's like you can ask me how a story is going to end. And if I know already how it's going to end, and it's not something that like we're just going to have to discover when we get there, I'll just straight up tell you. I don't even care. That's the power of money. You want spoilers, you can have them.
Now, they have the money, they get the spoiler. Are they able to share that spoiler with anybody?
Yeah, sure they can. That'd be like a mean thing to do, but you could. I'm not gonna stop you. Once information's yours, if you paid for that information, you can do whatever you want with it. But personally, I think spoiling things for other people is just kind of like a mean thing to do. I don't like being spoiled myself, but I know there's some people that they don't like waiting or they don't care. Like spoilers don't affect how they enjoy a story, which is why the option's there. And also why I'm going to even block out and put spoiler tags on it anyway. So if you're just somebody else who's in the members area, you don't get spoiled by something you don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't usually like spoilers myself. And I try not to spoil stuff for people either.
I think the worst kind of spoiler is when it happens on accident. Like someone just has like a loose tongue, and it's like, oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
they're just worst
Yeah,
kind.
like you're just excited, you want to talk about something, and
Yeah.
you don't even know that the other person doesn't like being spoiled, so you just start talking about it anyway, or you didn't know that they didn't know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, well, when
I
it's been
spoil stuff for you
fabricated,
on purpose all the time, though.
Yeah, but that's because I typically don't care.
Yeah, it's because you don't
Typically.
care, and you also skip cutscenes anyway. So it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
you
I
might
was
not
thinking
even
of
know
that.
it about something if I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
obviously that's for video games.
Yeah.
The cutscenes.
I'm in the Hit Escape to Win club.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm in that club. Depends if it's gone on too long, then it's like, okay, let's skip. Or if I've seen it before, skip.
Or if you're playing like one of these Hoyo games and they don't give you a skip button, like just mashing the space
Mash.
over and
Mash.
over and over.
I barely got through Enforius like today. I
And
was smashing.
hello, Jeff. How are you? He says, so I'm going to spoil this live stream? How are you going to spoil this live stream?
Oh, you
I
know
don't
how it
know. Maybe
is?
he could put a link out to other people afterwards so they could watch the VOD, but he's gonna put like all the information that they want to know from it in the tweet or post before they even click on the link.
That'd be a lot of information to type. I don't think Twitter will let you do that. Unless it's, a 20 thread long.
Or I guess the other way you could do it is you could just go and find the key moments of information and then just like clip those out and put them out without context. And then be like, yeah, there you go,
Oh.
live stream spoiled. Listen, if you try hard enough, you can spoil anything.
True. Very true.
Well, the Bible? Can you spoil
Oh
the
yeah,
Bible?
yeah.
He'll
Spoilers.
never guess what happens
Jesus
to
comes
Christ.
Spoiler, Jesus wins.
back. He comes back twice.
Spoilers, God is awesome. Got him.
It's definitely been a good chat, and I'm gonna go for another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Listen, I've got nowhere else to be
yeah.
right now. Like I said, if I hopped off right now, I would just be jumping right into Zenless Zone Zero. So like,
Oh, same.
I'll stay on, and we could talk
Yeah.
about whatever.
Let's see.
I'm just getting to those character concepts for chapter 1 that I have to do for Battle Ball. I have to do so many character designs. That's just what I've been doing in the back this whole time.
Yeah. Well, I might spoil something. I don't know if we're allowed to spoil this
Spoilers.
or not, but I'm going to anyway. It's nothing to do with our story. It has to do with the site Fables.
Oh.
Some
Oh,
site
yeah.
stuff. And I'm going to spoil it because it does tangentially have to do with this story. So Fables has already said inside that they are talking with a major publisher to get their stuff onto the website. And Fables is designed to be a webcomic site where the people on it can get ad revenue from people looking at their comics. Phasma stuff is there. My stuff is there. If you want to support us right now, you could go to fables.pro and go to either of our comics and read them, and we will get ad revenue from it. It's a good way to support without having to spend your own money. The Dreamscape Dilemma, if this goes through, will be on Fables because when they add this major publisher, they're basically going to add a payment system where you can have comics locked behind a paywall. And for individuals, I guess they'll do something different for the major publisher, but for people like us, the way they'll do it is by linking it to a Patreon tier. So if you are going to support, say, the Dreamscape Dilemma on Patreon, you will be able to read it in webcomic form on Fables whenever that goes live. I need to bug them, though, to find out when that's going to happen.
Okay.
Ooh, it's probably gonna depend on the publisher, no?
Yeah, I guess like an ETA. I know they probably won't be able to give us an exact date, but it's like, summer maybe, or can you give me like a season, a quarter, something? But Fables is cool.
Okay, so a little bit. Yes, I am flit, but yeah, I'm. Well, Metal obviously knows that I have the Canadian shield. I've created a bunch of other shields. I'm slowly going through various other countries' flags and creating shields. So we got Chile there. I forget which ones we got here. Afghanistan. Oh, Belgium. And then there's one more. Cameroon. Cambodia. Cameroon. Like that. Yeah. Cameroon, yeah. So I'm not sure whether you can see them, Metal. What do you think of them so far? They're not as big as a Canadian shield. Let's see. Let's go back.
Fellow CSP user.
Yeah. Well, Rick, I know a way you can profit. Didn't you start doing like webcomic shorts at one point? You could you could join Fables and get some ad revenue from that. Just re-upload them.
Yeah, they're on my other hard drive,
Uh,
which hopefully will be fixed soon. I gotta send them a message. Sent them one last week and they never got back to me on how that was doing. Hopefully that's a good sign. Although it's gonna cost me a nice chunk of change. About 100 right about now, it's about $100 more than I was expecting.
oof.
But yeah, I saved up for that money, so an extra $100 plus the taxes isn't gonna kill me too much. But I think the data's worth it, so
Yeah, I remember I went through a very similar thing, and I just said, screw it. So I know how much it costs,
yeah,
why I didn't do it, and I feel for you.
yeah. It just has all the Canadian Shield, the first two script, well, the first three, both Canadian Shields, Snowdrift. It has a lot of, other stuff, that I don't really want to lose if I can help it. I just think it's all worth it in the end. As long as I get all of it back or 99% of it.
Yeah. Aha, there it is. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. There, if you're gonna sign up for Fables, sign up through that link.
Yeah.
If I get even more people who sign up through my fan link, my border will go from green to blue, and I get to brag to everyone on the site. I mean, I already bragged to most people the fact that I've got a green border, but if I get the blue one, oof, I'll be the ritzy guy in town.
The ritzy guy in the somewhat
I
active
think
Fable
I
server.
registered for this already. So I clicked
probably
your
did.
link.
You probably registered through my link because I was posting it everywhere at one point in time.
Okay, I don't want to do that right now.
Yeah. But yeah, get me that blue border, and then if you want to get me a little extra money, you don't even have to pay attention. Though you should if you haven't read any of my comics before. But you can just go through, you just spam it. You know, it's like click each page. Give me that ad revenue. I need some money.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I guess, since I brought up the Patreon, you want to get both, or if you just want to support the site. I don't know, maybe the Dreamscape Dilemma isn't for you, people listening. Could be. I think it is. I think you should read it and support it anyway. But maybe it's not. It's just not your cup of tea. Other stuff at X Time is Chaos is. Maybe you just like the occasional prose chapter that I put up for the web novels, and that's more your cup of tea because you're a reader. That's all cool. If you just want to support the site, I will be putting up other things up for the freelance tier, including maybe some like premium digital first comics that I will be drawing myself when I get around to them, and you'll just get those. Similar like how the Dreamscape Dilemma is going, from being a supporter of the freelancer tier or other random stuff. I've been putting old art up there. Some obsolete stuff. You get like flash to the past that I'm not uploading elsewhere, like some maps that I used to draw from fictional countries or things going all the way back to middle school.
Or they'll be able to get the comics when you do them, the 4-page comics that you did with that.
Those will be on the what's it called?
The regular site?
Yeah, they'll be on the website for free under the short section when they go up.
But they'll get the. But they can
you'll be able to see the inks and stuff. Actually, I should probably just rescan them because I have to. The one that I was mostly done with, I basically have to recolor from scratch because I lost the old assets.
No, I was thinking the contest winners. They're.
Yeah, those are the ones I'm talking about, right? Those ones will be up in the short site for free. When they're done. Right, but in the meantime, I could put like the inks up as they're ready because I have to recolor the first one from scratch, and when the one that I have to make for you is ready, I could put the inks in the Patreon as well behind the paywall. And or anything else that I do in the process. But once the whole thing's done, that's the whole. It was always designed to be a comic that you could just read on the website from the beginning, which is why you guys also still got a commission out of it too.
Yeah.
The only person from that contest who didn't receive anything is actually Dillard, because we were basically playing mutual destruction there, because he actually also owed me art. And we kind of just decided that if we agree to it, we can wipe the slate clean. Neither of us owe each other art. But that's the only person who won anything that didn't get anything.
Okay, so the links for the Patreon is in the description, as well as the page for the announcement. Not that you have them, but any other links that you want to let people know of in the chat or put in the chat?
Well, all of Phasma stuff was also put into the chat. But if you go to the announcement page, which is in there, all these links are in there too. Hyperlinked, which is probably how Flit found them really quickly. Is because he just went to that page and copy and pasted them all. Though I also wouldn't put it past him searching them because Flit is pretty fast with that. But I made it convenient for you. Like Phasma's link is hyperlinked to her name. The Patreon's hyperlinked in there. Any resource you need to find is right there on that page.
And
like I said, if I want to do Subscribestar, all X Dynamis Chaos's links anywhere are on the sidebar. When you go to the site, you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see them.
Yeah, and I gave Phasma a wrench in the chat, so if she wants to put any links to anything, she can.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I think I also put all your links on the site now. Since you do have an official contribution on the staff and crew page under contributors, there is a section for Phasma where the Dreamscape Dilemma will be linked to wherever you can find it after it's done. And it's got like your Twitter, your Newgrounds, your DeviantArt, and your Instagram on there.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I see it.
So I try to make it easy to find everyone, and I definitely, as an artist myself, I feel like everybody needs to be credited for everything they do proficiently enough. So I try to make it easy for people to
Preach.
find the credits and the where the people put their stuff.
Oh, dude, I wish I had my own site. This is so cool. I love navigating the site.
The thing is, I hate navigating my site. Like, I almost want to completely redo it.
That sounds
I'm
like
sure for
something
some
you'd say.
people who don't do webmastering, it probably seems adequate, like sufficient enough. But then when, like, for me, I'm like, no, this could be way better. Everything about the site could be better. But then if like any amount of time I dedicate to working on the site is stuff that I'm not doing elsewhere. Like, I found myself drafting up a page for Patty from the Bodacious Bikini Battle Babes of British Bay, which you should totally read if you haven't. Great short, 16 pages. But then, like, halfway through writing up her page, because I haven't published it yet, I'm like, what am I doing? I should be doing something else. Why am I writing up a page for Patty right now?
Yeah, I do know what you mean too, because so much I've done that.
Dude, your entire site is mostly just like bios of characters that you've made.
Yeah. Well, there's other parts. I've got to do a lot of updating, and just because I'm the only one to do it.
I know that's just how it is, you know.
I have the opposite problem. I'm too busy making the comic. I feel like I don't have enough character artwork.
Yeah. Speaking of
I
like
feel like I should make more.
character art, that's another thing you can get at the Patreon. For the Dreamscape Dilemma, I put up not just the references that I gave you to work off of, which are done in like the Digimon style, because I had fun. Just like, yeah, sure, why not? Nobody, only backers are gonna see this anyway, so let me do it in the Digimon style. It's not how the comic is
Yeah.
gonna look. But I even put like your early like drafts and stuff. Where you're trying to feel out the character in there, so
Yeah.
people can have all kinds of fun stuff
Yeah, that-
backstage.
That's what I got to do with you sometime. I got to copy and paste or whatever. I got to go through all my online profiles for my characters on the website. Help you to get me to edit them.
Yeah. Well, even I have to go back and redo a lot of my stuff because I think it was like a year and a half ago. Maybe it wasn't even that. Maybe it was just a year ago. I had decided I don't like the way any of these character pages are formatted. So I'm going to start reformatting all the pages, which are making them longer. They look more like official, like wiki pages for the characters or encyclopedia pages that have things broken up into different sections and stuff. But I haven't done that for everything. I got all the most important characters done for X Dynamis Chaos, but I've got so many things I need to go through. My site is one of those things. It's just a bare bones, permanently work in progress because I'm the only one that can work on it. Which
Yeah.
you know how that feels.
Yeah.
And it's like, God. But I need other people doing art for me, which is why, like, perfect. If anybody wants to work with me, because I've got more stories and characters than I can handle, I am perfectly acceptable with like revenue split with anyone, or even if you just want to put it on your own Patreon and hoard it for a month, being like people can only see this for up to a month before it gets released. They have to pay that way. I'll let you do it. You keep all the revenue from your Patreon. I don't care. I just need to work with more people because I've got like this little mainframe structure building, but only so many hands able to work on it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit the same way too. I'm willing to work with almost anybody as well. But with that said, it's coming up on that 2-hour mark here.
Oh, no.
Any,
Yeah.
any last things you want to say or whatever, Metal?
Yes, I want everyone in chat to take the announcement link for the Dreamscape Dilemma and post it somewhere else, if you would. Please and thank you.
Phasma? Anything that you want to
Go
say?
read my comics. Go read my comics! Corbin
Okay.
Kid and Battle Ball. They're my new grounds. I'm so excited about the new one, Battle Ball. I want
Do
to
you,
work on it so bad now.
do you have a link for people for that?
Yeah, let me drop my Newgrounds link, because that's where I have
I mean,
everything
it's in the
at
chat
moment.
already. It's like
Yeah.
Flit's been doing a great job. Shout out to Flit once
Yeah.
again for just dropping all of these
Thank you,
links
Flit.
while we're going. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, any link that you want to put out in the chat, go ahead now. I updated the description. Your Twitter link is in the description for people as well. You know, for this episode, so they can find you over there on Twitter. You know, and hopefully follow you there, and also get that.
Felicity will be giving 3D modeling people's characters a shot. If you can get a character sheet or turnaround, I might throw you a turnaround. That could be fun. But Flit's been doing a pretty good job. I've seen like his Raven that he's been working on. It's been coming out pretty well.
I'll give
It's a nice other avenue because apparently illustration he's had enough with it, and I think it's like really cool. So yeah.
Yeah, no problem, Flit. Well, I can send you a turnaround for Canadian Shield if you want to try and do 3D model of Canadian Shield, Flit. I've recently done a turnaround for him.
Yeah. But aside from that, actually, there was something I was thinking, which I'm actually even fine with exchanging art. You know, if somebody wants to do an art trade or anything, because you know I'm an artist, I can do that. But to promote the Dreamscape Dilemma, that's pretty much the only thing I'm focusing on when it comes to other people working on things. So if you want to do fan art of the character on the cover, or if you want to do an art trade, and I'll send it to you, I'm just trying to get as much focus on this as possible. So if we get some like Kenji's, maybe some Momotaro, who's on the back cover at the bottom out there, that's probably where you can aid the most.
Okay, so I guess with that, we're going to say good night to everybody. Thanks, Metal, for coming on, and Phasmagore. And thanks to everybody in the chat for coming by. Hopefully you go check out Metal's stuff and get on his Patreon, get him a couple bucks, and buy this digitally when it comes out. I know I will be doing that myself when it comes out for sure. Hopefully I'll be able to do something on the Patreon soon. And I gotta promote my Patreon more too. But anyways, good night all. God bless. Love you all. Have a great and wonderful day, night, whatever it might be for you.